I'm going to show you how to paint a pink rose using Winsor & Newton Artisan Water Mixable Oils. I'm using cad yellow light, burnt sienna, Naples yellow, sap green, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, permanent rose, zinc white for mixing, and titanium for my highlights. I'm using a 3/4 inch flat, a 1/2 inch flat, a small round and a liner brush for this painting. I'm using my liner brush to put with burnt sienna, drawing in a stem. We can strengthen these as we go along. So this is just a guideline at the moment. We'll put in another stem for some leaves coming down, and maybe something else at the top. We'll keep strengthening the stems and the leaves as we go along. The actual flower will be up just right of center towards the top. I'll take some of the paint off of this area. I'm using my 3/4 flat and alizarin crimson. I'm going to put a fairly thick coat, and this will be the heart of the flower. I'm mixing some sap green, ultramarine, burnt sienna. I'm going to make some dark leaves to go around the base. You won't actually see these leaves. We'll give them leaf shape, but you won't see much of them once the rose is finished. It just needs a dark supporting shape under the base of the rose. That should do it. I'll give them a few more little shadowy leaves. Don't worry about picking up paint from the background, it all adds interest. I'm using my 3/4 flat and my zinc white, and we'll pull in some of the largest petals furthest away from us, starting at the top of the rose. They get smaller as we go down and pick up the alizarin, which turns them pink, of course. And just using a swipe of the side of my brush, I'm putting in the foreshortened petals. They're closest to us. We don't see as much of the petal. It's just a quick swipe of the brush, very simple. Pick up some more paint, and we're just using the side of the brush again. We'll put in the buds, and you just sort of press down and it leaves a bud shape impression using the side. I'm using titanium to just tip the edge of the petals, give them a little light. Maybe add a few more as we see foreshortened. That quick swipe. I would draw in some larger, more open petals and just drag the brush in towards the center, and it will pick up the green underneath, but that's fine. It gives the petals a translucent quality, so we don't mind about that. I take some titanium and tip the edges of those petals. You don't have to be perfect, just let the brush do the work. We'll put in a couple of more foreshortened petals and highlight the buds. I'm going to use my liner with burnt sienna to put in some stems from the buds. I pick up some sap green and put in the base of the flower. Once the flower is pollinated, this becomes the rose hip, and when the petals fall off, the rose hip changes colour to, well, you see them in oranges, yellows, reds. They're beautiful, beautiful scene in the autumn to see all the rose hips on a bush. I'm putting in the sepals. These are the little green petals that protect the main petals of the flower. They protect the heart of the flower. I'm putting in the sepals with the liner. And strengthening the stems. This goes on throughout the painting. The sepals, as they open, they do so at all kinds of odd angles. You really can't go wrong with these. It's whatever you feel like doing. They're kind of higgledy-piggledy anyway. I'll stick one out to the side. We'll put in some leaves, and for this I use my 1/2 inch flat. I mix sap green, maybe some burnt sienna, a little ultramarine, gives me darker, lighter colours. And I do the same as for the buds, just use the side of my brush, press down, gives me that little bud-shaped blob, and then I draw the leaf in from the outside towards the center. Attach it to the stem, put in another blob, draw in the leaf shape, starting at the tip, draw it in towards the center, 2-3 strokes. You can't go wrong with leaves. If you don't like something you've done, just take a dryer brush, brush the leaf out into the background. Just adds a little more interest to the background. There's no right or wrong when you're painting with oils. Anything goes. Put in another one down here. Didn't get enough paint on the brush. Third time lucky. I put in the blobs to show where the leaves are going to go, get a better idea of the balance of the painting. Start at the tip, draw them into the center. I've got a little cad yellow on. This gives me a brighter color, but really when you're painting leaves you can use any color that you have on your palette. You can tip them with a little alizarin, you can put a little mauve in there, add a little white to it, give you a brighter edge. And I like to put my painting away for a few hours and come back to it with a fresh eye, and then I can see what I need to add, what I need to take out maybe, and get a few more colors in there. I'm always messing with my leaves and either bringing them down or bringing them up will strengthen the stems. Roses are pretty thorny, so we'll add a few thorns, and it all adds interest to the painting to put in these little touches. Makes it look authentic. Perhaps we'll put in a bare twig. I like a bare twig. Where should we put it? Here we go. I almost always manage to get a twig into my paintings. It's an opportunity to get an extra bit of colour into these stems and twigs and leaves. So don't forget that. I'm going to sign it. I think we're done. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you'll come and visit me at www.carolanneonline.com, and this painting and 8x10 prints will be available at my website. Thank you.